In today's social climate, Drunkman's Paradise finds the need to add a disclaimer to this video. As is stated in the thumbnail, the actual vehicle is not in this video. So for those of you who are clicking on to see a Porsche, then wish to complain later and say clickbait, learn to fucking read! Please enjoy the video. What's up, junkies? I gotta ask a question. Have any of you guys ever done something like really embarrassing in a car? Like embarrassing, like where you looked around and like you kind of say, you know, geez, I hope no one saw that. Let's say kind of like it's a beautiful summer night and you're out in your Cobra convertible with the top down and you're driving and you're kind of lost in the moment. You know, the radio's playing, but you're really not paying attention because it's such a beautiful night and you're listening to the revs of the engine. And I'm just saying, I mean, just kind of like this, and you know, you pull up at a light and you know, you're not paying attention and you're lost in the moment. And on the radio, it's one of those songs playing, you know, let's just say a Shania Twain song or something like that. You know, one of them catchy lines that everybody always sings. And you're not really paying attention to what's going on. And you're sitting there and all of a sudden, subconsciously, you start singing along with it. Kind of like, you know, man, I feel like a woman. Only to look over and to see a bunch of guys in the car looking at you laughing. Just saying, not like that happened, but something like that. You know what I mean? Well, I had one of these moments. Pretty embarrassing shit. Years and years ago, my cousin Danny, yes, a story with my cousin Danny again. Most of my car stories, you know, involve my cousin Danny. But years and years ago, like 1990, yes, I was just right before I turned 20, he had bought an 88 930 Porsche. Similar to the one in the picture. It was slate blue with a dove interior. Car was beautiful. It was phenomenal. He got it used. Obviously, it was like a year, 2 years old when he bought it. And the car was perfect, but the sunroof, there was something wrong with the sunroof, and he had it out at the dealer. The dealer fixed the roof, and he needed to pick the car up, and apparently he was busy. So he goes, Sam, he goes, are you doing anything later? I'm like, why, what's up? He goes, well, the dealer, my car's ready at the dealer, and I got to pick it up, but I have something to do. So, I mean, if you're not doing anything, you know, maybe you could go pick up the car for me? Now, guys, I'm 19 years old. I could have had a date with Halle Berry. You know damn well I was canceling. But I played it cool. I played it like I had a pair of, you know, I had a Ace King suited in my hand, and I slow played it. And I'm like, well, yeah, I did have a couple of things to do, but yeah, if you want, I'll pick it up. He's like, great. He goes, go pick it up. He goes, do what you got to do. Bring it by the house later on. Okay, no problem. Now, Dan was cool like that. I mean, I may have been 19, but I was a responsible 19-year-old. I mean, handing me the keys to your turbo Porsche, you know, well, crazy, yes, but you know, like I said, he was cool like that. Anyhow, we went out to the dealer. It was after work. I shot out to the dealer. I got dropped off by one of the workers, picked up the car. You know, I've driven the car before, but not, you know, out on the street, like just pretty much moved it around the yard and so on and such. But now here I am. I'm like, man. And I get on the highway and it's jam-packed. It's like 6:30, so it's typical like New York rush hour. I'm like, man, I'm in this beast of a car and I can't do anything. So anyhow, I drive home and I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling good. I'm 19. I'm in a Porsche. Now, guys, remember, this is 1990. You know, exotic cars weren't everywhere like you see them today. This is before really everybody was able to lease a McLaren for $2,000 a month and drive around like there was some hot shit. You had a Ferrari or a Porsche Turbo or a Lamborghini. Really, you were, you know, it was something to see. Anyhow, I got home. I got changed, took a shower, got changed. I had a couple hours to go. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go take it out for a ride. He said he wasn't going to be home till like 8 o'clock anyhow, so I went out, I got on the LIE, I got onto the on-ramp, and just like a surfer waiting for his set, I was waiting for the traffic and waiting for the traffic. There was my moment. Slowly pulled out, first gear, nice and easy, second gear, started picking the speed, and punched it. Holy shit, guys. I highly recommend, if you get a chance, if you've never been in one of the older Porsche Turbos, to give it a shot. My God, the feeling this car gave me. I hit second gear, that thing, in like 2 seconds, all of a sudden the back tucked down and took off. It sucked my chest in. It was crazy. It was like the most adrenaline I've felt aside from riding my Gixxer 1100. I have to tell you, I was having so much fun driving that car. I drove it up and down the LIE for like an hour. And I was telling him to bring it back to my cousin, and I'm like, oh, I look, it's out of gas. I got to get gas. Oh, I drive to the gas station on Francis Lewis Boulevard. Francis Lewis Boulevard here in New York and Queens was like the big cruising spot. And I pull into the gas station. There's some people around, and I'm feeling good. I get out of the car. I'm like, yeah, my balls are big like this. I'm feeling like Schwarzenegger. I go into this, I go inside. I pay for the gas. I get a soda. I walk out to the car. I go to push the gas cap open. It won't open. Now, the gas cap's on the left fender, the gas cover. So I'm pushing it and it won't open. But now, people are kind of looking at the car and all, like I said, this is before you saw these all over the place. And now, like, people are like looking and I'm feeling good, but now I'm starting to shrink from like Schwarzenegger because I'm a little embarrassed. I can't open the thing. So I assume it's got a latch inside. So I open up the door. Now, if anybody knows like the 911 bodies and the 930s, to open the trunk or open the engine cover, it's in the door jamb. There's a latch. But I know it's not going to be there, so I look down next to the seat, figuring there's a release. There's no release. Now I'm starting to panic. Now I went from Schwarzenegger to like Pee Wee Herman because the embarrassment is setting in because people are looking. And like I said, I was feeling so good driving this car. It was amazing. So I get into the car for a second, and I don't dare want to reach for the owner's manual. So I'm sitting there, and I'm starting to panic, and the sweat is coming. And I play it cool. I open my soda. I take a sip like, I'm doing something. Now, also, this is before cell phones. Everybody didn't have a cell phone back in 1990, guys. This is 30 years ago. And I'm starting to panic, and I'm sitting there, and my heart's pumping, and I'm really embarrassed because here I was a few minutes ago feeling so proud and big. Look at me in this Porsche Turbo. Yeah. Boy, I was brought down to earth real quick, guys. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay, gather your zen, get together, hold it together, junk man, hold it together. It's got to be here. There's got to be a way to open up. And I'm looking. Now, if anybody's ever driven the Porsche, the 911s, the keys on the left side, I'm like, okay. So I'm looking at the key and I'm looking around. I'm saying, fucking Germans. It's a little tab all the way to the left of the dashboard. A little tiny, smaller than a dime. This little button caused so much embarrassment. I played it cool. I popped the pin. I popped it, went up, filled it up, and pulled away nice and cool. But that was like a really embarrassing moment. You know what it's like feeling so like, and then everybody's looking at you like, dude, like this guy don't know how to put gas in the car. Thank God I don't have to go to the owner's manual. But guys, these things happen. Embarrassment does happen. But, things like this just bring it back to earth. But, hope you enjoyed the little story. And that Cobra story with Shania Twain never happened. Just keep that between us. Everybody, like, comment, subscribe. Love you, junkies. See you soon.